Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to uh, our Q&A for tonight. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing taking a few of your questions that you have. Uh, I think both Larry and Ed have had, and I've been a little long in answering Ed's question, but I do want to get to it because it is something that um, uh, he was probably the first person to ask the question, but it is something that we do need to cover. So I'm going to try to cover that tonight. We're going to be talking just about briefly about how how you go through the contact form, right? And this is going to be helpful for you regardless of whether you're using our contact form or not, because there's a tool available to you that will help you. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box there. And with that, we'll just kind of go ahead and get started here. All right. So once again, any questions, write them there in the chat box. Okay. So one question that Larry had in particular was you're looking at uh, a slide from the Ultimate PLR setup, and you've probably seen that before on our channel. And obviously, I'm not going to go through the whole thing there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick it up from this point where we are looking at the PayPal link that you're going to get that you already set up. So hopefully you can get to this point through the PLR setup. And if you can, then what you're going to do is you're going to get that link. And then once you get that link, was the question that I think Larry had, which was um, he was kind of wondering, okay, so if you don't have this particular button, and I want to find this button here that I talked about there, and it is I suggested that you go to this window, that you get the properties, and then what you do is you put the link in here. And I guess he was using Composer, and you apparently can't. You may not have that button. You may not have that available to you in Composer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in here. I'm just going to say that the button's going to lead to google.com, right? And then I'm just going to kind of click in here. Now, of course, then I would go ahead and save it. So what we want to do is we want to see what the code's going to look like once we do that, right? And because let's say that you don't have that button, what you're going to do obviously is you're going to find the button in this code, right? And I'm going to highlight the button so that you know what the code's going to look like. And you're going to have to find the code where it says image source images forward slash buy button. Now, again, if you're not using this particular HTML form, you're going to find the button in the code, right? And what you want to do with that code is you want to add on, right? You want to link to that code. So, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put a reference code in there, a link reference, right? That link reference looks like this. And you'll notice where the link reference starts. The link reference starts with the letter A, there's a space, href equals, and then you're going to put in there the reference code. Right now, in this case, the reference code is going to be, let's see, that's actually the reference code here. Let me find that there. Okay, yeah. So the reference code here for the button is going to be google.com, which is what we just put there. Right. So you're going to have to, if you don't have the properties button, you're going to have to do it manually. And you're going to have to do it by creating a link reference for the button inside of the code. And again, the syntax for that is A, then the letter space, href equals, and then there's going to be there's going to be the quotations, then the site, then the in quotations, and then the next is going to be image source, right? So you're going to do the same thing here later on. So if there's another button on your page, we're going to do the same thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and you're going to notice here that we have image source, right? But the image source does not have a link to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the WYSIWYG editor, and I'm going to use window. I'm going to use properties. I'm going to put that link reference in here. All right, my memory's running a little slow here. Let's put the link reference in here. This time I'm going to put in here yahoo.com, right? And then let's go here and let's watch the code. The code's going to change when I click inside of here, and you're going to see it there, right? So now you see that we have the same syntax for that button. I'm going to highlight all of that here so you can see it. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to manually change the code so that there's a reference here, right? The reference is going to be whatever your website is, image source, and then you're going to have the A and the backslash here at the end, right? And that'll give you the code, right? So if you've got to if you again if you don't have the properties window inside of your HTML editor, then you can add that code manually. And so hopefully Larry will see this where you're going to have to go in and change the code so that you have the H reference that connects to this button. And you can take a look at this. You can blow this up, and pretty much you're gonna create the same syntax exactly the way we sort of have it here. All right. Any questions about that? Any questions about that? Okay, so another question that I got here was about the contact form, and let's take a look at that here. And what I was wanted to look at was okay, I would probably let's see if I can find support system contact page, and we're going to open this. Right, still kind of doing all this left-handed. So, okay, yeah, Dana said you said okay. Thank you, Dana, for sending me the photos of your standing desk. I'm looking at that now, and then I think it was Jason um, suggested I look at a Costco standing desk too. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Um, okay, so we have this form, right? So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this area. We're going to split this so we can see the code also. And pretty much you sort of have this area that's the contact form, and so what I would do with this, I wouldn't try to get JavaScript code. Now obviously you're going to put all your privacy and disclaimer, you're going to change all that, but there's a tool available that is called, and I think it's free, it's called 123 form builder, right? So let's just type in 123 form builder, and it's a drag and drop online form builder. So I'm going to open up this area, and let's see. I might have a login here. I don't know if this is my login, so I'm just going to see if my RoboForm has this in here. I may not. Okay, yeah, I do. All right, so let's just put that in here. Okay, so let's just create a form. And basically, all you're really going to do here, and this isn't going to be rocket science. You're just going to create the form that you want to have inside of there, and you're going to paste the HTML code in there, right? So again, this isn't deathly uh, difficult, right? This is a drag and drop builder. You can customize the form to be what you want it to be, and then they're going to give you a code, and you're going to set the code up so that it goes to your email address, right? So let's see if I put in short text, right? Maybe another short text in here, and I can change this to uh, name, right? And then maybe I want the email address, right? And then I want them to put their problem in here, right? So a long text box, right? So they can state their they can state their problem, whatever that is, concern or whatever you're going to put in there. And then you've got a submission form, right? So whatever you want to have in your submission form, you're going to put it in there. Maybe you definitely want their email address in here. We're going to publish it, and then we're just going to embed the form, right? So we're just going to grab this code, right? We're going to copy it, and then it's going to appear on our site the way we want it, right? So let's see, it's going to take a minute here, right? So there's your form. And so all you're going to do is you're going to put that code inside of the contact form, right? So instead of having this HTML form in here, we're just gonna kind of take this out, right? We would take out everything, including the submission button, and then we would paste in our form code. See where it says form at the beginning and form at the end? Well, we're gonna put our form in there so that all you're gonna do then is replace the form. Now, obviously, what's happening is uh, your form is then going to be on a third party website. Now that's you don't have any control over that third party website. If there's a downside, it's that if for some reason Form Builder goes down, then you're going to be down. Personally, what I would do is I would definitely just kind of redirect this support link. And I think that honestly, I think Zendesk is $10 a month. Freshdesk is $10 a month. I would definitely look to invest in a company like that. There are lots of integrations, and over the long term. Now, if you just want to have the branding available to you, then what you're going to do is I would just take this form out altogether, right? And I would definitely be redirecting people to Zendesk, even if you want to use the branding. You can redirect them to your Zendesk or Freshdesk, right? Okay, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so those are really the two questions I wanted to answer tonight. If anyone else has any questions and you're here, please feel free to go ahead and just kind of write them there in the box. I'll be happy to answer them. If not, then I'm not gonna hold you here any longer. And we will pick it up. I hope to be able to kind of get back to doing this on a weekly basis, either that or just having some guests come in. Um, but I do miss doing this, and I haven't done one of these in quite a little while. And I like to do these a little more regularly again. Right, my production schedule is really tight, and has been kind of getting in the way of me doing some more training that I'd like to do. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you have any questions about this, please feel to reach out to me via support. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.